Ryan, final Red Bull game to start the season against Somerset. What's the preparation been like from the boys this week?
It's pretty laid back, to be honest. It's lots of cricket been going on, in these first couple of months, and I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel within the 2 or 3 days you have off. So we actually gave the lads an extra day off to, just to chill out and relax because, the Lancashire was a disappointing result, but it was a bloody good game of cricket that, we all enjoyed. And, there's a lot of, could have done this and could have done that if only this had to happen. But it was I think it was just good to have the weather up here unfortunately hasn't been great, and going back in the indoors for 2 or 3 days probably not going to be very helpful. So yeah, it's been pretty laid back, relaxing and waiting for Somerset to get here.
You mentioned it's a disappointment, but it is only the second loss that we've had since you joined in Red Bull, and the first one since the first game of last season. I guess you take heart from that the team have been able to find results seemingly from nowhere, and also, as has been the case to start this year, fight to get draws when we've been put on the back foot.
Yeah, 100%. We were never going to go through this year without losing a game. We're never going to go through a year ever when you don't lose a game, because the way we play and the way we want to play is we have to put games on the line to be able to win it, and sometimes you're going to lose that. Down in Lancashire, we actually didn't have that opportunity to put the game on the line because we played poorly in certain parts on the first few days. But what I look back at is we had no right to make 475 on the last innings on a wicket that, no disrespect to the Blackpool, how Keating Jennings and David Benningham got hundreds. The wicket was a snake pit at times, it was seaming, it was spinning, and you thought to yourself, gee, this game's going to be over in 3 days. But the credit goes, it just kept getting a bit better. And the fact that on that last day, there was not one word spoken about, are we going to play this out for a draw? Are we going to, do whatever? Mate, we were always going to have a crack at it, and people may think that we're full of crap, but again, it just showed. Like, for most of that last day, I think everyone thought we were going to win. I'll be honest, there was a horrible umpiring decision which Bettingham copped, which, when you look at the big scheme of things, if we have 2 set batters going into the next new ball, it's a different story what happens, because that was a new ball wicket that blokes could get knocked over, and unfortunately we did. So look, it could have gone a million different ways, but we walk away disappointed that we didn't play over 4 days the cricket we wanted to play, but lots of confidence to think, gee, we're almost there.
As you say, a lot of confidence taken. I guess also a lot of confidence taken from the fact that Ben Stokes was able to come through his first game relatively unscathed. First of all, he has turned your kids against you and is now supporting England. Are you going to drop him this week for that? Yeah,
there's a chance that Ben may never play for Durham again, because I went through a football World Cup getting told that they were going for the Dutch and not Australia, and now cricket, of all things, they're massive fans. They were always fans, to be honest. All the guys at Durham have spoken so well about it, and they've kind of sucked them in. And my about-to-be 9-year-old and 6-year-old seem to be English and Durham fans forever now.
But on the serious side of things, how nice was it to see Ben out there back in just whites, first of all, and after such a long time out the game? Obviously played in India in January, but everyone knows his injury history. How nice was it just to get him back out on the field?
Oh, look, England need the best players up and running, and world cricket want to see the best players playing in their full role. And, without blowing too much smoke, he's one of the greats of world cricket. And, if England want to be successful, and you can talk about Bazball or whatever you want to call it, the facts are, it's about Ben Stokes creating with McCullum a great atmosphere to play, but also their aggression came from being able to rely on a guy. He was doing a lot of the bowling as well as not just the batting. So, when you take one of those assets out of your team, me personally, I felt that the England side have been very unstable and it just hasn't quite fitted because, mate, world-class all-rounders don't just grow off trees and, drop off trees. So, look, England need him back playing. Durham need him back playing. It's great to have him around the group because we all know, if one arm bleeds for Ben Stokes, he bleeds English colours, but if the other arm gets cut, I'm telling you, it's Durham colours that he bleeds because he loves this group and he loves this place. He's been brought up here. So to have him back playing is just fantastic. I wish he didn't bowl 10 overs in a row at times because that makes everyone nervous, but, that's just the competitor he is and he loves the game. And once he gets in the battle, mate, game on.
And then looking back on this first block of red ball cricket, we won't play red ball cricket now for a little bit. Sitting 7th in the table, only one loss, which came against Lancashire, got rained off against Hampshire, had numerous kind of weather intervened games. How do you look back on this first block as a head coach, and how do you sum up where we currently are?
Well, look, I'm actually a guy that hardly ever looks at a ladder, which sounds weird, but I had a brief look at it the other day, and it's such an even competition. I think there's 7 teams separated with less than 10 points or something, which shows it's a great competition. For one, when I look back on it, I guess there's a little bit of disappointment because we haven't played our best cricket yet. I've seen massive signs of it, and I've no doubt it's coming. But the facts are we've been exposed to some flat wickets, ridiculous boundary sides, some things that, you can moan and groan about, but that's just part of it. And, we don't moan and groan too much. But it has been tough for our bowlers. I think mentally there's a few scars there from, playing on a wicket which is 40 metres to one side it doesn't matter how you think of it. Scores just got racked up, and it takes a bit of a toll for our first real hit out. So look, I think our bowling group is in a really healthy state. I think if they can get up and running and get to the form that they want to be in, I've no doubt there's all sorts of good stuff coming. Our batting group has been very impressive, to be honest. That the scores that we've made and individuals have looked fantastic. So, look, I give us a tick for sure. Do we belong here? 100% we do. Can we get better? Oh yes. And that's the thing that I would say to everyone: beware, because Durham are coming, and I know they're coming. And if we get it right, look out.
Looking now ahead to the Blast, which kicks off next week. We haven't done too well historically in this competition over the years, but we are strengthened this year. Ashton Turner's back. Ben Dwarshius is the second overseas alongside him. First of all, on Ben, how excited are you to just have him around the group? I know he's been in this morning.
Yeah, look, I think our signings are outstanding. These guys come from 2 of the best teams ever to play T20, not just good teams over the last couple of years. The Sydney Sixers and the Perth Scorchers are literally the most successful teams on the planet. And to have that experience and to be able to play, and Ben won their Player of the Year last year. Look, I think they're going to be great acquisitions. I think the Durham fans are going to enjoy what's happening. We saw AT last year play some unbelievable innings, and his leadership will obviously help. Alex Lees as well. I think that, in all honesty, the people of Durham and the fans should be very excited. And I know I like to talk exciting things, but if anyone saw us play in Zimbabwe, and you can say that was just a tournament somewhere else, but there was a different feel about our side. Our batting is going to take a step up even further from what happened last year. There's going to be guys in different positions. There's going to be a lot of exciting times with our batting and our bowling. We're changing things up as well. We've changed the balance of the team. We've got a guy like Callum Parkinson who comes in. Nathan Souter had a great year. we've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Like I say, I think that T20 cricket is going to be a good year for Durham.
You mentioned there that it's slightly change of the balance, change of the feel. Hayden Mustard was one of those ones out in Zimbabwe that performed really well. Will there be opportunities for guys like him, Daniel Hogg, Luke Robinson, that got opportunity? Luke obviously made his debut last year in this competition against Leicestershire here. Will there be opportunities for some of our younger guys to get a crack at playing first team T20 cricket?
100%, because the World Cup's on, and everyone will go, well, we didn't get anyone picked in England. Well, we did. We had Mark Wood, but Michael Jones will play in the World Cup for Scotland. Buster Later will be for the Dutch. So there's a couple of spots that open up for maybe a Hayden Mustard to be a finisher. We know bowlers go down all the time. Matthew Potts, Coghlan, Rain, they'll all have to be rested at point. So, there's guys like Lukey Robinson and Ollie Gibson, and these sort of guys are going to have to be ready. I think it's going to be a year where opportunity will be ready, and if guys are ready to go, they'll get their chances.
And it seems like, to wrap up, that you're confident that this group will take the next step forward in the T20 Blast this year. Are we allowed to get excited for potentially a knockout appearance for the first time in God knows how many years? Or would you not want to put a label on it just yet?
I'm not going to put a label on it, but the facts are that we're here to compete. We're here to win things. It's not just we want to participate. I think the history of Durham, you can say whatever you want, we're more of a red ball squad and all that. We don't think that when we put our squad together. The reason Colin Ackerman and Cullen Parkinson were such good targets for us, because they're a all format place. We don't have a lot of just one format cricketers here. So it means we try to produce the best cricketer possible, and they'll all fit into all forms. So call it what you want, but I have no doubt, I'll go back to my very original point that I made when I came here. If you want to be the best club in England, you have to be the best in all formats, and that's T20 is a big part of that. So hang on, put your seatbelt on and see what happens.